So hey anime fans, the series name is What If Naruto Was in Percy Jackson, so let's start the series. Tsunade leans back in her chair. She pinches the bridge of her nose as a headache is coming. Several hours ago Uchiha Sasuke went rogue and caused chaos. The busty Hokage sent the newly minted Chunin Nara Shikamaru, Genin Akimichi Choji, Genin Inazuka Kiba, Genin Hyuga Niji, and Genin Uzumaki Naruto to chase a captured the rogue Uchiha. During the chase Genin Rock Lee along with shinobi from Suna being Genin Sabaka no Gara, Genin Sabaka no Kankuro, and Genin Sabaka no Temari helped them out during the chase. The mission itself was a bust with serious injuries, but no deaths on their side. Choji suffered from extreme chakra exhaustion because of his clan's food pills. Kiba suffered from blood loss and a deep stab wound. Niji had a hole in his shoulder that goes through his shoulder. Shikamaru only had a broken finger. But all of that is nothing compared to what happened to Naruto. He has a large wound in his chest that is extreme close to his heart, fractured skull, and a fractured spine. Tsunade worked on Naruto for hours to make sure that he didn't die. While Tsunade was going through Naruto's medical record she found out that a few years ago Naruto had surgery on his eyes. Why in the world did Naruto have surgery on his eyes? His medical records don't saw why he had the surgery, thought Tsunade. Tsunade opens her hidden sake stash for this is a case that she just wants to drink, but before she could Shizun rushes through the door, nearly taking the door off it hinges. Tsunade-sama! Yelled out Shizun as she ignores the busty blonde who is trying to drink some sake, Tsunade-sama. The barrier team picked up a strange chakra signature entering Konoha just 20 minutes ago. Strange chakra signature. Like what? Asked the busty blonde. Divine. Tsunade's eyes widen. This isn't the first time divine chakra has entered Konoha, not even the first time divine chakra has entered the elemental nations. Throughout the centuries divine beings came and went usually leaving behind children that have special chakra. Tsunade jumps out of her chair and rushes to the hospital for there is only one person in the whole village that had a divine parent. Naruto. Tsunade worries for her favorite blonde. Outside Konoha, the moon is full. The night is clear with little to no clouds in the sky. Divine light shines down from the moon as a woman wearing silver robes gently lands on top of a tree. It's been so long since I've been back here. It looks like nothing has changed that much. Said the goddess out loud. The goddess looks out onto the everlasting forest of Kuni no Hai. A forest that had little destruction to it as the people to these lands care about their lands when they aren't fighting and killing each other during their wars. While looking out onto the untouched forest she eyes gazed over the Hokage mountain, more percussively the last face to the far right. It has been that long, hasn't it? The goddess closes her eyes releasing divine energy into the air and sent it out. What the goddess didn't know was that the barrier team in Konoha felt her releasing her divine energy and sending it out, which in turn allowed Shizun to notify the Hokage of her presence. Opening her eyes, found you. Taking off at speeds that would end most beings' lives. Konoha General Hospital. Sleeping peacefully in the bed with the window open is one Uzumaki Naruto. After his surgery he was placed in a private room to rest without anyone disturbing him. Standing next to the bed is the goddess. She run her fingers through his spiky hair. Just like your father's. You have his hair that no matter what I would do to it it'd just go back to what it once was. She looks over the sleeping boy to get a better look at him. You have your father's hair, but you have my face. She looks over the injuries to get a better look at them. While she isn't like her brother who can look at any wound and knows how it was caused, how old the wound is, and how to fix it, she only knows so much. From how he is sleeping means that his wounds were properly treated. Who did this to you? But before the goddess could do anything else the door was kicked open with Tsunade running into the room. The busty Hokage scans the room to see a woman standing next to a sleeping Naruto with her hand running through his hair. Get. But Tsunade stops what she was fixing to saw as she recognized those silver robes. It can't be. Artemis-sama? Asked Tsunade. Tsunade? Artemis asked turning to the busty Hokage, why did you bust down the door while Naruto is sleeping? B. Why are you here? I thought you were forbidden from ever returning. I had a feeling, it was true as the goddess of the moon felt something off, so she came to visit. When I arrived I didn't expect to find Naruto in the hospital of all places. Why is he here? He went on a mission that didn't end well. I have to ask, what do you plan to do? Artemis turned to the sleeping boy. I don't fully know. It feels as though the fates wanted me to come here. Tell me this mission that caused these injuries. Naruto's teammate went rogue and I'd sent a retrieval team after him, but they fought against Jonin shinobi that caused most of the team injuries that put them in the hospital. So the enemy did this? No, that was Naruto's teammate, Uchiha Sasuke. Naruto was the only one that managed to catch up to him. They fought and those injuries are the result of the fight, and Uchiha never did like them, never taking her eyes off of Naruto. I think I'll be taking Naruto. Tsunade eyes widen. Taking him? Shouted the blonde-haired woman. What do you mean by taking him? The rules say you can't take him. I know that, but they don't say anything about leaving him someplace that I know where he'll be protected. I don't like that place, but it's better than here. But Naruto is a shinobi here. If people learn that Naruto isn't here, then they'll think he went rogue too. You can't just take him and expect that boy to just go with it. Tsunade points to the sleeping Naruto. He will fight you every step of the way, kicking, punching, screaming, and the cursing. The little brat will make your life a living hell if it is the last thing he does. Let him wake up and tell him who you are. Wait till he can walk before telling him what you want to do. Wait till he is awake to tell him that you're his mother. I don't think I have to do that now. Tsunade looks over to Naruto as he opens his eyes, who slowly sits up because of his injuries. You do know that someone is trying to sleep here, you old hag. Giving Tsunade the stick eye, and you. Turning to Artemis, shut up deadbeat mother. Before Naruto passes out once, we better take this outside before he wakes up again. I agree. Both Artemis and Swanda head out into the hallway for Artemis to see several Umbu standing down the hallway. I see the Umbu still protect this part of the hospital. Stated the goddess of the moon. At Konoha General Hospital lies the north wing that is for shinobi that are being treated for heavy injuries that need protection. Yes, they do their job. Artemis-sama, why do you want to take Naruto away from here? Sighing before leaning against the wall with her arms crossed, over the last few years I have been taking in more and more hunters that need a place to live. Taking them in, I see them as my daughters, but they aren't my real daughters that I gave birth to. I think over time I wanted to see Naruto more and more. So I want to take him and be able to visit if I can. Yes, but what about the law? I know divine beings can't see their children. I can work around the stupid law. The law can't be broken, but that doesn't mean it can be bent. Other gods and goddesses have visited their children through their dreams and used other means to make sure that they're taken care of, explained Artemis. Fine. But Tsunade holds up her hand. You have to talk to Naruto in the morning when he wakes up. Like I said earlier, he'll fight you all the way and won't respect you. Though the little brat is disrespectful to everyone he meets. He once told a princess to shut the fuck up because she kept saying her life was hard. Talk to him and try to make him go with you, that's all I ask from you. Sighing once more, very well. I'll wait for him to wake up. Artemis watches as the sun rises over the Hokage mountain. It has been several years since she'd last seen the sun rise over the famous landmark. The last time she'd seen it was when they were still building Minato's face on the side of the mountain. The more things change, the more they stay the same. Artemis looks over Konoha as it really hasn't changed that much. I wish the rest of the world was like this. Where nature was one with everyone. Artemis was brought out of her train of thought by the metal door of the roof opening up. Artemis-sama, Shizune is standing at the open door. Naruto-kun has wakened. Tsunade-sama is looking over his wound as we speak and wishes for you to be there. Yes, I think it is time for me to talk to my son after all these years. Artemis says wholeheartedly. Artemis Tsunade removed some of Naruto's bandages. Well, there is some good news and some bad news. What do you want to hear first? Asked the busty blonde. I don't think it really matters, answered Naruto. Alright. You are healing nicely, but you'll have to stay in the hospital for 3 days. Why do I have to wait for so long? I heal fast and you can heal anything. Naruto cried out. I know that, but I want to make sure that nothing is badly damaged. Your spine was fractured. You're lucky to be able to even walk as it is. Fine. Mutters the blonde. That's when Artemis and Shizune came into the room. Artemis stares at her son. Yes, last night she got to see him, but she didn't get a really good look at him. Now that he's awake with his shining blue eyes, bright blonde hair, round face, and the birthmarks on his cheeks. So. Deadbeat mom, what took you so long? Naruto remembers waking up last night with Tsunade and Artemis yelling at each other. Deadbeat mom? Artemis mutters. Don't think too much about it, Artemis-sama. Shizune panics as Naruto is blunt as always. Naruto doesn't respect everyone he meets. So. I'm listening. Naruto gets back their attention. Where have you been all these years? Is it true like the villagers said? That you didn't want me and left me behind? That you were some kind of whore? What? A dark aura surrounds the goddesses. Naruto. Tsunade shouted at the blonde. I want to hear it from your mouth. I want to hear if the rumors are true, or that there was more to it. Tell me, those cold eyes that Artemis seen in her hunters when they first joined the hunt stare into her eyes are a bit unnerving. I couldn't take care of you because of a stupid law. The dark aura disappears and the goddess looks out the window. You see, Naruto, I'm not a human. I'm a goddess. Naruto stares at the woman who is claiming to be his mother. Just say that she is a goddess. I'm having a hard time believing you. The blonde has heard of everything by the name calling. But this is a new one saying that his mother, this woman in front of him in a goddess. It just sounds like excuses so you wouldn't have to take care of me. But it's true. We gods can't take care of our children that we have. Zeus, who is your grandfather, doesn't want any of the half-bloods to think they are above themselves. That was the wrong thing to say. Plain and simple. It just sounds like that this Zeus is afraid. Afraid of losing power. Those with power are afraid of losing that power to their children, when in fact the parents should be proud that their children surpass them. Those that are afraid are doomed to repeat history because they are laying the foundation for the next uprising, thought Naruto. If you are a goddess, then what are you a goddess to? I am the goddess of the moon, hunt, wild animals, wilderness, childbirth, virginity, and protector of young girls, bring and reliving disease in women. In my spare time I along with my hunters hunt and kill monsters that wish to do harm onto mortals and other half-bloods. Naruto continues to stare at his mother. The things that she said sound doesn't make sense with childbirth and virginity. How can that go hand to hand? It just doesn't make sense whatsoever. But from what he can tell is that she protect girls that can't protect themselves and make sure that mothers give birth without any problems. I want to know. Why didn't you do the one thing that you needed to do the most? Artemis knew what her son truly said. Why didn't you protect your own baby? Looking down in shame that she failed as a mother. I had to follow the ancient laws because someone has to. Those that break the rules are trash, but those that abandon their comrades are worse than trash. Why did you come here after so long? Because I felt something wasn't right. So I came in here. I find you in the hospital with injuries that should have killed you, holding back her tears. It pains me to see you like this after all these years. She couldn't hold the tears. That I couldn't see my only son that I wanted to do nothing more than to raise and show the world that this is my son. The goddess drops to her knees. Give me time to think. Was the only thing that Naruto said. Sunda and Shizune help Artemis to her feet and help her to walk out of the room. Shortly after the door was closed, tears run down Naruto's face as after all these years his mother finally came to see him. The one thing that he'd wanted more than anything in the world. Not even being the Hokage can do that. Gripping his bedsheets as he was overjoyed and saddened at the same time. He knows that his words were harsh, but they had to be said. They had to be said because by pushing someone to tears can one see the true colors of that person. And Naruto knows without a doubt the words his mother said were true. 2 days passed with only Tsunade or Shizen coming to change his bandages and making sure that he's eating properly, and to make sure he doesn't sneak out of the hospital like he did in the past. It wasn't until the 3rd day when Kakashi came to visit him. "Yo, Naruto," greeted the masked shinobi. "Kakashi-sensei, what took you so long to get here?" asked the blonde. "Oh, you know, getting lost on the road of life. You should really try it sometime. You don't know where you'll end up." They both sat there saying nothing for some time till, "I'm sorry, Naruto." Looking over to his sensei, "What for?" "For teaching Sasuke the Chidori. I wanted to teach him that technique so he would use it to protect those that he'd cared for, not to use it on them." "Is that the only reason?" "No. Years ago I saw one of my teammates die in the last war, and then my last teammate died, by my hands, dropping the bomb that he himself killed his own teammate." "Why?" Naruto asked, for needed to know what his teacher killed a teammate, a friend. During the war Rin was captured by Kiri where they used a sealing jutsu on her and turned her into the Jinchuriki for the Sanbai. "Just like me," mutters Naruto. "Not like you, Naruto." Kakashi walks over to the window to look out as he see a few birds fly by. The sealing jutsu was a trap. It was a ticking bomb that would go off when she arrived back at the village. Knowing this, Rin wanted me to kill her so that the village wouldn't be destroyed. "But you didn't want to, right?" "Correct. I didn't want to kill Rin, but she wouldn't listen. Soon shinobi from Kiri appeared and I fought them, but during the battle Rin jumped in front of me with my Chidori going through her chest, killing her. I went into shock and passed out from the sight of Rin's dying face, and when I came to there was blood and bodies everywhere." Turning back to his student. "It wasn't unlike a few years later that I was asked to join Umbu by the Yondaime." "The Yondaime asked you to join Umbu?" "Yes, and during my time in Umbu I became infamous to our enemies because I didn't hold anything back. The darkness swallowed me whole." "Darkness? Not everyone can join Umbu. They need darkness in them so they can do what they are ordered to do. We do the things that aren't asked of the other shinobi." They both sat there for some time before Kakashi spoke once more. "You know, during my time in Umbu I was to guard Artemis-sama while she was pregnant with you." "You were?" Looking up at his sensei. "Yes. I watched her for 10 months. During those months I saw how she was nervous about being pregnant with you. It was funny watching her shopping for baby clothes wondering if you would like them. She was so happy to know that you were going to be born and couldn't wait for you to be born. Artemis-sama wanted to meet you for she loved you very much, Naruto." Kakashi chuckles at those memories. "Nah, Kakashi-sensei, what should I do?" Deadbeat mom wants to take me away from here, away from Konoha." Kakashi's sweat dropped from what Naruto just called his mother. "What should I do? Should I go with her? Stay here? What about Sasuke? What about my friends here? There is so many things to do, and so little time. I can't tell you how to live your life, Naruto. Neither can Swanda-sama, Jiraiya-sama, your mother, or anyone really. You have to decide what you want to do in the end. It's my choice in the end," mutters Naruto as he thinks it over. Kakashi didn't stay too long after what he had to say be leaving. Naruto sits there thinking over what he wants to do. He can stay here in Konoha and train to bring Sasuke back and make him face his crimes. The blonde knows that the last Uchiha would be getting a slap on the wrist for what he did by leaving Konoha in the way that he did. Most likely he'll be spending some time in prison for a few years and then be out with Umbu watching to make sure he doesn't do anything like that again. Or, he could go with his mother to whatever lands she wished to take him to, where he'll have to learn the difference between Konoha and the new lands. But before Naruto could come to any conclusion the sound of the door opening to his room brings him out of his train of thought. Sakura closes the door behind her. Then the crushing thought that he couldn't keep his promise to Sakura about bring Sasuke back to her. He failed. "Sorry, Sakura-chan. I failed to bring Sasuke back to you. But don't worry, I'll make sure to bring him in the next time I run into him. That's a promise, says Naruto as he is thinking that Sakura is sad that Sasuke isn't back in Konoha. Naruto waits for Sakura to say something, but doesn't hear a thing for some time. That's alright, Naruto, he didn't like the tone that she is using. I shouldn't have asked you to bring Sasuke back. I should have known that you'd fail to bring him back. I mean, you failed the academy 3 times. What was I thinking when I'd asked you to bring Sasuke back? You can't beat Sasuke. He's too good and too strong for someone like you. You never take anything too serious. You always laugh at everything like it's some kind of joke. If only you had parents to look after you, but they didn't even want you. I watched her for 10 months. During those months I saw how she was nervous about being pregnant with you. It was funny watching her shopping for baby clothes, wondering if you would like them. She was so happy to know that you were going to be born and couldn't wait for you to be born. Artemis-sama wanted to meet you for she loved you very much, Naruto. The words that Kakashi spoke run through Naruto's mind as Sakura continues to insult the blonde, to continue to berate him. For everything that he has done for her. For all the times he wanted to make her smile. Helping her so that she doesn't fall behind when they are training. Just for her to throw it all right back into his face. Then hearing her say that his parents didn't want him. In the last 3 days Naruto has seen his mother giving him space to think over what she had said. And then, hearing Kakashi saying that Artemis wanted him and loved him. Get out. Whispered the blonde. Huh? Said Sakura, who barely heard him. What did you say, Naruto Baka? I said get out, raising his voice so that the pink-haired girl could properly hear him. I said to get out. Sakura takes a step back from how Naruto raised his voice to her. Not once has the blonde idiot has done such a thing to her. A cold griping fear sets into her very being as the young girl takes a step back. Staring right at her are a pair of red eyes. But not just any pair of red eyes. The Sharingan. The Sharingan is staring right back at her. Naruto isn't from the Uchiha clan. Then why does he have the Sharingan? Sakura questioned herself as those red eyes slowly start to spin. While Sasuke and I train our asses off to grow stronger and stronger, you do nothing but complain about everything. A coldness fills the room. For one who wants to get stronger, you sure don't have the heart to do what is need. You don't know anything, for you are a closed-minded fool that just follow others like a little sheep waiting for the wolf to come. Get out before I do something that I'll regret doing. Sakura quickly rushed out of the room out of the fear she just felt. It was as if death was hanging over her with its hand around her throat. Naruto didn't have to wait for much longer for Tsunade and Shizune to come back on more time. While Shizune changes Naruto's bandages, Tsunade explains that he shouldn't train for a few more days just to be on the safe side. So, Naruto, I have to know, have you made a decision? Tsunade asked, since this has been on her mind for the last 3 days. I have. I can't tell you how to live your life, Naruto. Neither can Swanda-sama, Jiraiya-sama, your mother, or anyone really. You have to decide what you want to do in the end. I have to make the decision myself, Naruto told himself as the words that Kakashi said are true, for no one can make this decision but Naruto himself. I have made my decision. Tsunade and Shizune stop what they are doing as they waited for Naruto to say his answer, but didn't get to become a plume of smoke fills the room. Coughing as the smoke disappears to reveal Jiraiya standing on top of one of his toads striking a pose. The great Jiraiya is here. Said man wipes his ponytail around because throwing out his hand as small fireworks go off. Growling at her old teammate for doing something so stupid in such a small room and even having fireworks going off inside a hospital, Jiraiya. Tsunade punches Jiraiya's jaw, forcing to fly through the wall. Several Umbu look through the new hole in the wall to find their Hokage's fist smoking from the force of her punch. They didn't stick around and quickly got Jiraiya. The Umbu bring Jiraiya back with his jaw swollen. The toad that Jiraiya summoned stares at its summoner before turning to its newest summoner. I will take my leave, Naruto-sama, said the toad before disappearing in a plume of smoke. Groaning in pain, why did you have to hit me so hard, Tsunade-hime? rubbing his throbbing jaw. Pussy. Insulting Jiraiya without a care in the world, that's what you get for doing something stupid like that inside a hospital. Seriously. Who lights fireworks inside a hospital where there is oxygen? I just wanted to make an appearance for my student. Appearing in a corner with a rain cloud of his head, I came over here to tell him that I will be taking on a 2-year training trip. I hate to break it to you, Jiraiya, but things just changed. What? Quickly jumping and appearing right in Sunda's face, what do you mean things changed? I had everything all sent. First I would start out by making his taijutsu better, then work on his chakra control, all the while teaching him to take over my spy network one day. Things just changed, Jiraiya. Artemis-sama has returned. Then Jiraiya does something that no one thought the old pervert would do. Screaming like a little girl and jumps out the window. Tsunade, Shizune, Naruto, and the two Umbu blink at the broken window. The thought of Jiraiya said to be the strongest of the Sannin screamed like a little girl and jumped out of the window was something no one was expecting. Anyway, says Naruto catching Tsunade and Shizune's attention, I will be going with deadbeat mom. Sweat dropping at Naruto's rude nickname, may I ask why? The busty Hokage asked since she wanted to know what the knucklehead is thinking, while I was sitting here. I've been thinking, Anne. Gripping his bed sheets tightly, I always wanted to become the Hokage so that people would look at me and won't say terrible things about me to my face or behind my back. Yet after losing to Sasuke, I don't have a right to become Hokage if I couldn't even save one of my friends. Tsunade stays silent as that isn't true. All the Hokages before her has lost something that was too much to bear. Her grandfather, Hashirama, couldn't stop his long-time rival and friend from going rogue and attacking the village. Or how her grand-uncle Tobirama sacrificed his own life to save his students during the Second Shinobi War. Or with Hiruzen didn't see that his student Orochimaru was swallowed up by the darkness. And finally how Minato had the shortest run as Hokage before giving his life to protect the village from the Kyuubi 13 years ago. The road to becoming a Kage in any village is a road full of hardship with death as the foundation. Naruto. Going just because you couldn't protect one friend isn't the way to do it. There is more than just being the strongest to become Hokage. One has to be smart, one has to know when to fight, one has to know when to quit, and one has to know oneself, explains the busty blonde. I know that, but I don't even know myself. Naruto looks up to the woman who he saw as a grandmother. How can I grow when I don't even know if I'm doing the right thing? Because no one knows. If everyone had the right answer to everything, then the world would be a much better place. Tsunade walks over to Naruto and gives him a hug. Whatever you choose to do, I'll be there right behind you 100% of the way. Nodding his head, I have decided that I'll go with deadbeat mom and learn more around the world. Just like you said, the Hokage has to be smart, right? Naruto's infamous smile comes about. Then there is no better way than to travel and learn how the world truly is. Jumping out of the bed, I'll be the greatest Hokage because I would have traveled the world and saw many great things that made me great too. Shizune claps her hands as Naruto starts to jump up and down on the bed. Of course Tsunade is happy that Naruto has made up his mind. Yes, she is sad that her favorite blonde will be leaving, that doesn't mean he'll be leaving forever. Seeing enough of Naruto jumping on the bed hits him nowhere as hard as she did with Jiraiya to make him stop jumping on the bed. Why did you hit me? Cried out Naruto as he nurses his head. I let you jump on the bed long enough, brat. She's just couldn't lose her smile, and I did say to take it easy. I'll have the paperwork written for you to be discharged from the hospital. I'll also have paperwork filled away saying that you can leave Konoha for a few years, that you're going on a training trip. Though you were going with Jiraiya because he wanted to teach you a few more things. That old perv probably just wanted to take me to a few whore houses. Says the blonde while crossing his arms. That's a loaded question if I ever heard one. Anyway. Start packing for your trip with your mother and have everything all set when you leave. Naruto's apartment. Standing in the middle of his apartment looking at everything with a bag sitting next to him. Shortly after coming home, Naruto started to pack what he may need and take what he is of value to him. There really isn't that much he has of value to take with him. The one thing that the blonde is worried about is his plants. Naruto has a few plants that he takes care of and he doesn't want to just leave them and they wither away. should I take them with me? Naruto asks himself out loud, why don't you just give them to someone you know who'll take care of them? Asked Jiraiya. Of course Naruto is taken by surprise by this as he jumped up towards the ceiling and used his chakra to stick to said ceiling, Ero Sannin. I really hate that nickname. Cried out the Toad Sage, why are you here? Asked Naruto after he drops down from the ceiling, here to take my money again. No, not this time. I hear that your mother is here and is planning to take you away. Jiraiya looks at his apprentice, are you sure about this? Looking down at his own feet, I have too. There is so much that I need to learn and to grow stronger. Maybe I can learn something if I go with deadbeat mom. Naruto then looks up to Jiraiya, I've made my decision. What about your dream to become Hokage? It's not like I'm going to stay away forever. Really people, I'll be coming back to be the greatest Hokage. What about Sasuke? Asking the one question that need to be asked since Naruto's relationship with Sasuke is very similar. Jiraiya and Orochimaru, are you going to bring him back? Naruto thinks long and hard on this as he still wants to keep his promise to Sakura only to make sure he can face his crimes. Yes, Sasuke has to come back to face his crimes for abandoning the village. That's all I'd wanted to hear. Though I did wish you would come with me to train because I wanted to make you my successor of my spy network, and go around to every whorehouse. No thanks. You don't understand now, but you'll understand when you have a woman in your bed. He better not. This time it was Jiraiya's turn to jump and cling to the ceiling with his chakra. Artemis. It's so good to see you after so many years. Jiraiya, you better not be trying to turn my son into a pervert. The moon goddess's eyebrow twitches. Who me? Asking innocently, I would never do such a thing. I didn't turn Minato into a pervert. That doesn't mean you didn't tried. Artemis says while giving the old pervert a death glare, so why are you here? Well, I came here to see Naruto off. Why else would I be here? All the while patting Naruto on the back kind of hard, I know how you don't like to be in one place for too long. Right. Anyway, I need to talk to my son, alone. Right. Naruto, if for any reason you wish to talk while you're gone just summon one of the toads and they'll let me know. Jiraiya didn't wait for Naruto to reply before jumping out of the window. Artemis and Naruto stand there in silence as this is the first time that both mother and son are alone together. Naruto doesn't want to be here right now as he wants to finishing going through everything and make sure that everything is in order. While Artemis doesn't know what to do since she had given birth 13 years ago. So. Minato. Looking unconformable, that's the name of the yondaime. Minato is a common name. Which it is true since Minato is a very popular name in all of Konoha because he was the yondaime, but this was before the yondaime became the Hokage. I know that the yondaime is my father, but how do you know that? Artemis starts to panic since Naruto wasn't supposed to know till he was older. There aren't that mean blondes in Konoha for one. The Yamanaka clan are the only blondes even in Konoha. I've been in the Hokage's office more times than I can count and I memorized all of the Hokage pictures that are hanging up on the walls. The yondaime has the same shade of blonde hair that I do and I have the same eye color too. Why haven't you said anything yet? Because I didn't want to. I've seen how my friend Konohamaru is the grandson to old man Hokage, and everyone treated him differently. I didn't want that so I didn't say anything, but Tsunade told me that you wanted people to see you and know that you are there. Artemis heard how Naruto pulled pranks on the whole village with her son painting the Hokage mountain was his latest prank. Why didn't you tell anyone? I just said that I didn't want to be treated any different. And I remember from the few times that I was in the academy that IWA still hates the yondaime. So I don't think they'll be too happy to know that he had a son. From what Artemis is hearing her son, Naruto isn't stupid, which isn't what she first heard. Tsunade told her that Naruto was bash and jumped headfirst into anything and everything that he could do without thinking first. But from hearing Naruto knows when to keep quiet and knew to use his head when he was supposed to do. This shows her that her son is playing everyone and just don't want people know it. I guess fear can make people do some stupid things, and some pretty interesting things. I wonder what else my son can do that no one else knows, thought the mother. Is there anything else you want to ask me before we leave? Artemis asks her son before leaving Konoha. There are other things that I want to ask, but they can wait till a later time. So when do we leave? Naruto asked. We leave whenever you are ready. Then I think I want to leave now. I don't want to say goodbye to everyone, not now. Alright, if that is your wish. Artemis takes hold of her son and teleports out of Naruto's apartment. Central City Park. Mother and son teleport in the middle of Central City Park in New York City with a flash of moonlight. Since Naruto has never traveled that fast before, he bends over and pukes what little is in his stomach. Don't worry, it'll pass, says the moon goddess while rubbing his back. Mortals never really travel that fast, so their stomachs can't handle speeds without training. Where are we? Looking around all the while gasping for air. This is Central City Park in New York City. This is where you'll be staying for the time being till the summer begins. Why can't I be with you? Asking the million-dollar question. I can't stay with you because of the ancient laws, which are stupid. Cutting off his mother. The ancient laws. Giving Naruto a tone to not interrupt her again. The ancient laws make it so that gods can't raise their children. And I don't think my hunters will like to have a boy at the camp. Sounds like they're sexiest, making sure to mutter so that his mother doesn't hear him. I'll have you enrolled into school because you have to be in school while you are here. That was one thing Artemis looked into while she was waiting for Naruto to be released from the hospital. His grades went that well, in fact he barely passed, and he cut class almost every single day. While she can't be there and make him go to school, she wants to make sure that he relearns what he didn't learn from the academy. Who knows, he might actually like school. Maybe he'll choose something better than being a shinobi as a career choice, thought the mother. Fat chance that I'll like school. You may make me go, but I'll never like that hellhole, thought the blonde, as if he knew what his mother was thinking. There was a few curve balls thrown their way. One being Naruto didn't know how to speak English. All the people in the elemental countries all spoke Japanese. Artemis knew how to speak and write Japanese because she lose a bet to Apollo and she had to learn it. Seeing as it would take too long for Naruto to learn to speak English, she cheated by using a coin that Athena made that allows anyone who swallows it to speak whatever language they wish. Writing said language will be more difficult, but with Naruto's stubbornest nature he won't quit till he mastered it. Artemis bought Naruto a studio apartment not too far away from a school that would be perfect for Naruto. By using money that came from nowhere. She told the manager that her son will be living here when school isn't being held and she'll be gone most of the time because of business. But school won't start up for a week since spring break is taking place. Sitting and staring at the window of his apartment as the people walk on the sidewalk going about their business. The cars coming and going to who knows where. Seeing a car for the first time was something new and truly exciting. The technology here is so much more advanced. Yes, his old home had electricity and other things, but nothing compares to his new place. Finally growing tired from just sitting and doing nothing, Naruto leaves his apartment so that he could explore this new city. Walking through the busy sidewalk, passing by people that live in this city that are going to work, leaving from work, from people visiting friends and family, to those that are on vacation. Everything seemed to be perfect, but the blonde knew otherwise, that this is just the surface, as there are things waiting and watching just under the surface. Things that these people couldn't believe existed. That's when Naruto stopped walking to looking by popping his neck. For the past few minutes someone or something has been following him. The blonde can't tell what it is because the city is covering the smell and noise, but he can tell that something is following by the feeling from the back of his neck and left shoulder, as if someone is watching him. He wanders randomly through the street, still feeling as though someone or something is following him. Taking a right down an alleyway to stop and wait. The son of Artemis doesn't know how long he waited for, but the time came when he heard footsteps. Turning to face a man standing in front of him. "Why are you following me?" Naruto asked, grinning. "You smell so nicely. I never smelled something so great before. I wonder what you'll taste like." Taking a step back, "Great, I get a maniac that's been following me around." "What do you mean that I smell?" I want your flesh. 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 The man's eyes change as the whites of his eyes darken, becoming black, and his urses become blood red. The man leaped towards Naruto, covering the distance between them very quickly. This surprises Naruto since he wasn't expecting someone here to move that quickly. This cost him as the man takes hold of the blonde's shoulders and sinks his teeth into his right shoulder. Acting on instincts, Naruto knees the guy hard in the chest with enough force to break a rib or two, gaining some distance from the madman as he licks his lips from blood. It's so good. I never had something so good before. Holding his shoulder and trying to stop the bleeding, this isn't good. This guy is something else. Deadbeat mom never said anything about man eating people. Naruto doesn't stay for long as he makes a run for it. He can hear the man give chase, all the while screaming about wanting more divine flesh. Naruto quickly jumped to the side as something rips through the ground and into the wall. Turning to throw one of his few remaining kunai only for it to be blocked by some kind of blue tentacle. Turning on the balls of his feet and charges the man and leaps over said man. The blonde takes out 2 more kunai and drive them into the man's shoulders, but the blue tentacle came up and hits Naruto into the wall. The blue tentacle didn't wait to wrap around Naruto with the pressure coming as the blue tentacle squeezes him. I can't wait to have more of your flesh. What are you? Coughed out Naruto. I am a ghoul. Answered the man, I devour anything that smells good. I heard from rumors that New York had the best flesh to eat, but no other ghoul comes thing way for some reason. All the more for me, I say. I think you done fucked up. What do you say that? Bringing Naruto close. Because of this, Naruto poofs in a cloud of smoke as another Naruto comes from behind and drives a full power Rasengan into the ghoul. The ghoul has never felt anything like this before in all of his life. His skin is harder than normal humans, so he shouldn't be able to feel this pain, but he is. The Rasengan grinds through the ghoul, forcing said ghoul into the wall as the Rasengan kept on going through. Naruto knows what he's doing. This ghoul wanted to devour him, and how knows how many more people he devoured up to this point. Naruto knows what his Rasengan can do if he doesn't hold back, which he does all the time, but this time it is different. Different as this monster can't be allowed to live anymore. Once his hand has gone all the way through the ghoul who is dead, now lets the monster fall to the ground. Staring down at his kill compels the blonde to take out one of his kunai. Kicking the ghoul over onto his front, kneels down to lift up the ghoul's shirt and lower the ghoul's pants to drive the blade into the ghoul's lower back where the tailbone is located. Cutting and curving through flesh and carefully taking out a glowing red sac. Blinking a few times as though he is waking to only find his hands covered in blood and is holding a glowing red sac. What the hell? Naruto doesn't know what happened. 1 minute he is standing over the dead ghoul, then the next he is holding a red glowing sac. Where did this come from? Why am I holding this thing? Panicking, Naruto leaps into the air and heads back to his apartment. Shortly after Naruto left the scene, the air become cold with a mist rolling through that covers the ground. Heavy hooves click and clap as a mighty black steed that is wearing thick and heavy white armor with a rider wearing thick and heavy white armor that is shaped like bones. The helmet more so, with it looking like a skull. Eyeing glowing a pale purple with a breath visible from the cold air. So you have returned now, haven't you, Guts? Looking over at the dead ghoul, you even have the same hatred as you did from back then, looking up at the sky to see the sun has been dyed red as though blood will rain down from it. Will the god hand finally be killed after like they should have been all those millennium ago? Asked the rider to himself before fading as he came before. Yansei Academy. Spring break finished with Naruto never leaving his apartment after his run-in with the ghoul. He kept the red glowing sack and placed it in his fridge. Yansei Academy, in Naruto's words, a place that is for stupid rich kids that don't know any better. Things didn't go so well since some of the older kids decided to try and bully Naruto on his first day, which ended badly for them. Naruto, I have to ask, how come you beat the older kids up? A kid asks who has dark hair and green eyes. Because they should have known what they were getting themselves into when they bully other people. There are always stronger people out there. I just happened to be stronger than they were. Making a face. What was your name again? Oh, Percy Jackson. I haven't been here for long. I don't think I will be here much longer anyway, says Percy. Why's that? Naruto asks while turning his head to the side. Because me and school doesn't get along well with each other. I never really liked school too. Smiling at the thought of a new friend, so let's be friend. Sure. Replied Percy. Unknown location. So Hound was killed, says a voice in the darkness. Really now? Another voice came out of the darkness, so he bit more than he could eat. Where did he die at? New York City. What? You can hear the surprise in his voice. Why in the world did he go through the Greeks at there? I know that, but he said he'd smelt something that he had to sink his teeth into. When he didn't return I had Rabbit go out and find out why. Do you know what he found? Tell me. I want to know what could have killed him. He was found dead with a hole in his chest and his kagun cut out. His kagun was cut out. Did the doves do it? Or was it another ghoul that wants to become a kakuja? I don't think it would have been the doves since they take the bodies. And I never heard of another ghoul that just ate a kagun and left the rest of the body. I'll have Jason go and look into and find out what really happened, stepping out of the darkness to reveal a woman that is wrapped up in bandages while wearing a purple cloak with a hood over her head, for this is something that I have been waiting for. A single eye changes with the white dyeing black and a crimson red taking the place of the eye color. A Jirai tree is going to be moving now. Alright class, settle down now, says Mr. Brunner as he wheels out from behind his desk. What can you tell me about the Battle of Thermopylae? The movie 300. Someone says out loud and the rest of the class laugh. There is more to it than what the movie showed, since he did show the movie to his class in hope they would understand what the battle truly meant. Xerxes, the god king of the Persian Empire, wanted to conquer all of Greece. Everyone his class turns back to look at Naruto, who answered, "That is correct, Mr. Uzumaki." Why was this battle so important to the rest of Greece? It gave enough time for the forces of Greece to band together and win against the largest known army that this world had even seen, answering once again. But there was just more than just Spartans at the Battle of Thermopylae, as Leonidas had most of his forces leave, only leaving behind 300 Spartans, 700 Thespians, and 400 Thebans to fight to the bitter end. That is also correct, tell the class. This battle plays an important part as it only lasted for 3 days, but it gave Greece a chance to win and beat back the Persian Empire that wanted to expand their borders. Why were the Spartans the ones that history remember the most? Because they have hot bodies? Once again the class laugh. No, because they had their king with them. None of the other forces that came had their king with them. If a king doesn't fight on the battlefield with his men, then they will never truly follow him. Looking around at his students, as most weren't paying any attention. What did the Persians do to Leonidas' body as the body? The head was cut off and placed on a spike while the body was crucified. Naruto answered once more so that he was paying attention in class for once. That is very good, Mr. Uzumaki. This showed that free men, willing to do anything for victory against the invaders, could accomplish. And the death at Thermopylae had turned Leonidas and the men under his command into martyrs. That boosted the morale of all Greek soldiers in the second Persian invasion, but before Mr. Brunner could continue the bell rings and all the students rush out of class. Naruto grabs his bag and heads for the door when Mr. Brunner called out to him, "Mr. Uzumaki, a minute of your time, if you will." Naruto turns and heads over to the wheelchair-bound teacher. "What is it, Mr. Brunner? You've been paying attention in class for once. What changed?" Asked out of curiously. "My deadbeat mom found out that I got into some fights and threatened to come down, and I think you can fill in the blanks," wincing from when she called him, yelling at him. "So to make sure that she doesn't come and yell at me again, I'm making sure that I keep low to the ground." A mother's wrath can move any man. Mr. Brunner chuckles at the thought. It's nice for once that one of my students is learning something. Yeah, rubbing the back of his head, I've been just watching the History Channel when Greek history comes up, confessing to the truth about not actually reading the material, chuckling once again. At least you are learning it. I have to ask, what would you done if you were fighting at the Battle of Thermopylae? I would have probably done the same thing that Leonidas had done. Though I wouldn't have wanted to sacrifice some of my troops. Never did like the thought of losing soldiers that could be sent home instead. But war isn't pretty, and there is death in war that claims not just the soldiers that are fighting. Innocent people that are caught are dragged into the fighting as both soldiers on either side will kill them. Now why do you say that? The teacher asks while turning his head to the side since he wasn't expecting an answer like that. You hear stories about the losing armies turning to become bandits. Those bandits now have training and equipment to hurt the very people that they've swear to protect. I see. Well, I took enough of your time. Head to your next class, Mr. Uzumaki. Farewelling his student off. Mr. Brunner strokes his beard as he watches Naruto leaves his classroom. Mr. Brunner or Chiron was called here when Grover Underwood, one of his satyrs, called him up when there were two powerful scents, not one here at Yancy Academy. It had been a long time since he was called out to see the demigod in question in many years. When Chiron arrived he could smell the two powerful scents and knew that either one or both of them are children of the big three. The first one being Percy Jackson was the most potent as it smelled like the sea. This lead to believe that young Percy is the son of Poseidon. While thinking about this he makes a face as if this were true, then it might be like Talia all over again. Then the mysterious other powerful scent was coming Naruto Uzumaki. While not as potent as Percy, it was still strong, known the least. From the way Chiron watched young Naruto he knew things weren't right as he asked where did the old Latin teacher went when everyone looked at him strangely. With his blonde hair and blue eyes the old trainer thought that Naruto is the son of Zeus or Apollo. But the way he does things doesn't match up with how he acts. Yes, while getting into fights and showing anger is a trait runs in both of said gods, it is a trait that runs strongly in all of the gods on Mount Olympus. The scent itself throws the old centaur off as it smells like nature. There are few gods that deal with nature. This is going to be a headache, I just know it will be. Chiron thought to himself.